Hello and aloha, delegates of the Sydney Model United Nations. I am Maxine SydMUN, a professor of law at the William S. Richardson School of Law here at the University of Hawaii and a global fellow of the Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars. It is a great pleasure to join you virtually at your closing ceremonies. Congratulations. You've just completed a weekend dedicated to international affairs. No easy task, to be sure. I trust that it was enlightening, perhaps frustrating at times, but ultimately a satisfying and intimate weekend, replete with the trials and great rewards of negotiating across countries and cultures. I hope you problem-solved boldly, creatively, and with a vision of what the mandates of universal peace and a spirit of harmony truly require. I hope you tested and explored what might be rather than what is today. Issues that face the international community have never been easy. It's no surprise, in fact, that our quite sophisticated and complex framework for international negotiation developed after a period of great disruption and suffering. Many were pushed violently out of their homes across borders, attempting to forge some semblance of a stable post-war life. It may be confounding now that some 70 years later we see images and scenarios that are quite familiar, that we thought had passed, but are emergent and repeated across the globe, whether it's in Europe, Manus Island in Papua New Guinea, or along the U.S.'s southern continental border. I specialize in climate law and specifically how climate change will affect the most vulnerable, and I'm trying to better understand how climate change may exacerbate the kinds of migrations I described that, like so many other longstanding and confounding challenges for the international community, climate change will amplify. When considering how best to govern in the context of a truly interconnected and truly global world, it's really important to recall that we are in fact entering into a whole new world. The unprecedented changes in our climate represent the dawning of a completely different kind of natural world, distinct at least from what we've grown accustomed to living in and writ large have taken for granted. We've gotten ourselves into a predicament in which the normal cycle of ice ages is a thing of the past. We are at the brink of oppressive heat and recurrent 500-year storms worldwide. The freshwater resources are fickle and the prognosis is even more uncertain, and this is in addition to unprecedented biodiversity loss. The challenges we face in the 21st century will require much more than artful negotiation, not by choice, but by necessity. Knowing, though, that you spent your weekend in Australia's largest debating and diplomacy competition and many weekends preparing for it prior to this, I am sure, demonstrates a commitment to being a part of your generation's efforts to meet the mandates and highest aspirations of the UN system and its foundational principles. Please do so with keen awareness of the climate in which your work will play out. Embrace the privilege and agency that you have as young, ambitious, and incredibly well-educated individuals to actually do something about it. That in and of itself is a privilege and a responsibility. And always remember the critical importance of bringing everyone along with you, particularly the most vulnerable amongst you, as you craft a more just and zero-carbon world. This is also not a trivial task, but one that will undoubtedly bring us much closer to the goals of universal peace and harmony that brought all of you together this weekend. Your commitment certainly gives me great hope. Congratulations to all of you again, and safe journey home.